What's up, everybody? It's Chris Denman, and we are live on a Saturday. Big thanks for tuning in, and thanks to my guests today for joining me. We'll jump to them in just a moment. We'll talk a lot about what's been happening in the world, how it focuses on entertainment, how it's affecting the comedy world and music world as well. Quick shout out to Jack Daniels, our friends at 1860s Bar and Grill right here in St. Louis. Be sure to support them with curbside pickup. And our other great sponsors like St. Louis Counseling Services. They're doing Mental Health Matters. It's a mental health panel hangout every Thursday. You can check that out live on Facebook or wherever you get your podcasts. That's right. You don't want to hear too much from me. Again, my name's Chris Demnon. I've got two friends joining me today from Los Angeles. Comedian, writer, producer, actor, everything. Lisa Best and our good friend Katie Toupin, musician and sparkly dress wearer.
I dressed up.
Hey.
I wore this on Letterman.
Lisa, that dress looks familiar, doesn't it? You've done Corden.
You're lucky I showered. Let's be honest.
Lisa joins us from Los Angeles, California. Katie joining us from Lexington, Kentucky. Katie, did you wear that dress to the store? How's Lexington treating you?
Yeah, well, I'm on the prowl, so maybe. It's pretty lonely here.
Lisa, did Katie pull the okey doke on you? You've done late night, you perform, you do all these things. She wore a dress that she's worn on Letterman's show. What's going on? You didn't grace us with your Corden outfit?
I would wear mine, but I would have to ask the person who let me borrow it. I don't have it anymore. It's not like when I had to do it, I had nothing in my closet to wear, and my friend is a costume designer, and she's like, "You can borrow something of mine." And I was like, "Thanks. Otherwise, I'd be wearing sweatpants."
That surprises me. You have so many jackets.
I have jackets, but you can't only wear a jacket.
Lisa has an entire walk-in closet of like
you gotta dress up the sweatpants. That's why you have the jacket.
See, that's the thing. So,
science.
Lisa, you do have quite a few credits to your name, and you recently, what did you do? All 3 seasons on True TV's sketch show? Yeah. Not quite.
No, I just did the final season of Those Who Can't.
Very nice. I was curious about that. I do see, and it's very obvious that you have many different talents. Katie's talked quite a bit about you, as well as if you just Google Lisa Best, you guys can check out all the cool work. Jumping right into that, so you do stand up, and I'm just curious about a set that goes to Corden it's a nice check, doing the late night spot, right? You've got to get the dress, you've got to get the heavily edited, or I guess opinion. You have to receive many opinions on your 5 minutes that you go do online or on the evening show. What's that like whenever you go from like, okay, I've got this however much time, and then I'm going to have to listen to 5 other people tell me exactly how I need to present it to their audience?
Yeah, it's a little bit stressful because they critique you quite a bit. Luckily, the booker for Corden was just this wonderful man named Ryan, and he was really nice. He liked the set that I had presented him with, but then he did come to a few of my shows to just help tweak it before it was TV ready. And my favorite incident of that is he was like, "All right, let me follow you to a show at the Improv. And then let's just tweak your set." This was the set I did right before taping. And it happened to be a set at the Improv where it was all like middle school kids.
What?
And I don't know why they just wanted to do like a kid-friendly show, and I didn't know it was a kid-friendly show. And so they were all, I think, between the ages of like 12 and 15. So I guess like middle school, freshman year. I don't know ages. But during my set, they were serving everybody ice cream sundaes. So I was like, this is perfect. But it was horrifying. It's really scary performing in front of kids.
Did you? That sounds horrible. Katie, is that the same thing with music as well? I mean, are they a tougher crowd because they're not paying attention? I know I can think of one instance here in St. Louis. There's a brass band that they're a party band. Shout out to Funky Butt if our guy Aaron's watching or listening. They do these giant Christmas shows every year, and they do 1 or 2 midday kids parent shows to get because they're these sold out crazy events, but they seem to have fun. But I don't know. What about the music side of that? Are you able to concentrate if it's a group full of
I
kids?
honestly, I don't know the last time I performed for children, so I have no idea.
Lisa, let's get Katie a kids night at a coffee shop when she gets back to LA.
How have you not? I feel like music. Do I do weirder? I mean, I've opened for movies before. Like in Santa Monica, they'll just be playing like Groundhog Day, and they're like, "Let's have a comic do 5 minutes before this film." Like, why do you not? I feel like musicians, you guys are so much cooler than us. You get way better gigs.
I gotta say, the one thing that does bother me is when there is an all ages show and it's like a loud show, and they don't have ear protection for kids, and the parents like standing next to a sub with a child, and you're like, you can't do that, like.
There's a lot of power coming in. Lisa, you've got stand up on your, I guess, tool belt, and then writer, actor. But you guys put together a short that that got accepted to a festival or two. I guess just give me your hierarchy. I know we don't have a ton of time with you today, but your hierarchy of, I guess, creative skills you like to exercise. I mean, going from stand up to, I'm sure, just working out every night in LA to being a writer on True TV, that takes up a ton of time. Then throw in your own projects. And this is all stuff you can find online. Lisa's been signed to production deals before. You're working on independent projects. And then again, you completed the short with Katie. I guess what's been the most fulfilling thing that you've jumped into in the last 5 years? Because there's a lot.
Okay, well, first of all, I would like to bring you with me to Thanksgiving, so you can just talk about all of my achievements to my family, so I don't have to.
Yes.
Because man, you make it sound so good. What is I mean, honestly, I think my favorite thing I've done so far has been the short film with Katie, because it was, and she leaves.
You walked her.
Oh man, I'm so good at walking people. Yeah, I think the thing with Katie was probably my favorite because it was so creative, but it meant something. It was, about a musician starting over, which Katie can relate to, and it's so much fun. And yeah, I think that probably is the thing I'm most proud of. I wrote it and directed it, but also Katie was sort of helping me through the whole process because we didn't have a huge budget. So we were kind of all wearing all of the hats. And Katie was the star of it, and she was just a phenomenal actress. So it was just really fun learning from her as well.
Well, I mean, as you all can see on the live stream, shout out to everybody. If you could hit share, the ladies would appreciate that as well as I would. Let's get some people jumping in here asking questions for Katie and Lisa. But yeah, Katie, obviously not one for the spotlight. It's a live stream on a sunny or a very rainy Saturday, and she's got her Letterman dress on and bright red lipstick. So I don't know how. Oh, look at the moves. Views are going through the roof. Hold tight for the end of this. We're going to do a foot pick preview with Katie Toupin as well, as she's put that out there. No.
Yeah, I'm on the verge. I'm on the verge of just being like, you know what? Money's nice.
Well, Lisa, that is the challenge with a short or any kind of a film project. Do you feel like putting together something that was fulfilling and that was, I guess, arguably good, right? I mean, the festival scene is not easy to get into or be accepted in. Do you feel like putting together a quality short is a next step? Is it a vehicle that can get you that next project?
I think so. I mean, I think long term, my goal is to be a sort of a writer director, kind of Greta Gerwig type. And so I think it was a massive step forward, but it was a huge learning experience because, man, I definitely made a lot of mistakes in that process that we'll know for the next time. But yeah, it was definitely a launching pad in terms of what I want to do.
Katie, do you feel like you did a great job being the center of the stage for a short film?
I think I did the best job I knew how to do.
That's a good answer.
I've never acted.
You did an amazing job. I mean, what did we say when we first met and talked about it? It's like, we're just going to make shit up as we go. And that's what we did.
As we go. That's our motto.
Wonderful work. Lisa, do you feel like after being a writer on True TV and these other projects, everything else, do you, once things kind of, I guess, reset, hopefully, stand-up feels like one of the things that'll come last, unfortunately. Do you want to get back out? Do you want to hit the road? What do you want to do for stand-up?
I don't know. I would love to hit the road. Doing stand up in LA kind of sucks because you're just doing small sets all the time. I mean, you're doing maybe 10-minute sets. And so I would love to go on the road and really like fine tune an hour. The problem is I have to be in LA a lot for projects. So it sort of has been a struggle balancing stand up and writing in my career. So I sort of have to choose one.
Yeah, and that's you see that all the time too, and I'm sure Katie can relate to this, having different projects and then one suffering, and probably I don't know if it's in that order for you, but a lot of people love stand up more than the other things, but stand up's not going to pay what a writing gig's going to pay. Before you get out of here, I'm curious, anything upcoming that we should know about or that you're tied to with any kind of interesting production companies? What do you have working? What do you want to happen in the next year outside of just more creative opportunities?
I'm working on a project I'm not allowed to talk about publicly specifically, but it's a movie, hopefully, that will reach streaming platforms at some point. So,
interesting. Okay. Okay. Be sure to do yourself a favor. Follow Lisa Best online. You can see all of her work. She's look at her IMDb. There's some information on there that's very interesting, and I'm sure at another time we can go a little further with the conversation.
Porn.
No, all this is. I mean, and maybe this is past. I don't know the business of everything, but it said you were working at Ben Stiller's production company had reached out to you. You guys had something that you were working on together. That's super exciting.
For sure. Which made me, before I leave, that just made me think, Katie, maybe our next, I'm trying to convince Katie to live in LA again so we can work on more projects. Maybe we should make a porn together that's just feet. Like we just make like a foot porn.
Wait, so like
slow dramatic shots of your feet.
Wait, is it like it's a 2-person porn or just a one person porn?
I think it would. Oh wait, that's a good point. Oh, we can both be in it, but we wouldn't be doing anything sexual. We would just be touching our feet together.
And then but there has to be the build up, like the
right. There has to be a story. I'll be the pizza boy. All right.
Well, I get a producer credit.
And I'll open the door and accidentally stub my toe.
Ooh, that's so good. And I'll be like, I'll get your ice pack.
Yeah.
Then I'll go. All of our projects are going to involve ice packs.
That's a bit funny. We should make that.
Well, I'm proud to have been here for this.
Better than our furries idea, actually.
You have a furry plan.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Yeah.
Let's flesh that out.
It made me think of all the weird IMDb credits we can add. Yeah, Katie, why don't you describe our furry project?
Our furries idea was that we would be a couple and we'd be wearing furry costumes the entire time, but just going through a normal day-to-day.
Hey, Mom. I love this.
So we'd be just like going through normal day-to-day life. Like Lisa would be upset about her insurance company or whatever, and I'd be consoling her, but we're in furry costumes. And then at the end, like it turns like, sexual or whatever. And like, do we take the furry costumes off when we?
I thought it never turned sexual. It was just basic house tasks that need to be done while in these cumbersome costumes.
Cleaning up the gutters.
Yeah, exactly. Changing light bulbs and then constantly like slipping because of the furry claws. And stuff. We just never acknowledge it. Because I did a set once where I was always jealous of musician comedians, how they had like these guitars. So I'd do a set where I'd have a guitar, but then I would never strum the guitar. I just would finish a punchline and then it would be like I was about to do it, but then I didn't. I just went on to the next joke. And I always think it's so funny for like the centerpiece to be something that's never acknowledged. So we're just gonna be in furries.
This is how it happens. I think I like the fact that you did stand up with an acoustic guitar as a literal crutch. Like that's awesome. You just leaned on it the whole time.
Exactly.
So we can look forward to several great projects. Also, Lisa, I'd like to acknowledge that Katie looked over her shoulder at her mother as before she said the sex thing about furry. So let's just go ahead and call that out.
Well, I have this fear that your mom thinks I'm trying to date you. She's like, no, I have a girlfriend. I promise.
I know.
Well, Katie dressed up for you today, so maybe it's on her.
That's true.
It's true.
Lisa, feel better, and it was so kind of you to jump on here today. I would love to chat with you more. I know there's going to be more time in the probably very immediate future when you get to feeling a little bit better, but I wanted to say goodbye, and thank you so much for jumping on.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. I don't know why I'm waving. Bye, Chris. Bye, Katie.
Love you, Lisa. Bye.
Check out Lisa Best online. Support her endeavors. We're going to switch it over to just myself and Katie. Katie, seems like you two are hell of a duo. That's got to be fun. Is that what writing sessions or creative sessions are like? It's just you two kind of chumming around the whole time?
Well, Lisa's the writer. Lisa writes all the stuff.
You just distract her?
I have ideas, and then she makes them work occasionally. But yeah, Lisa's the writer when it comes to that kind of stuff. We actually talked about writing a song together, though.
I think, why not? I mean, I think it can apply, right? You can.
She's a great writer.
Yeah. Well, she's got the credits to prove it, too. And then I think we're going to have you play a song today. And you do, again, if you're just jumping in, I don't know. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You've got that Letterman dress on that you performed in. So I'm just going to bring that up the whole time.
This is just like the stage on late night. My mom's kitchen.
Your mom's kitchen? Oh, check that out. Where did you get that?
I got it on Amazon.
Oh, wow.
It's one of my many late night Amazon purchases.
Yeah, how's that going? And you don't have the excuse. You're sober. Like, you don't have the excuse of got lit and ordered something dumb. You're of full faculty when this happens.
I made a rule for myself. I put it in the cart at night, right? But I can't order it until morning because if I still want it in the morning, then that's okay. But if this is just a late night decision, then it's no good.
And the Casio made it through the test.
Totally. And, I put roller skates in the cart a few times, took them out, and I finally pulled the trigger and I got the roller skates. They're on their way. I'll put another one. Hold on.
You're devolving into this foot fetish world faster than you even realize.
So I actually, I've been really good about not going out very much,
Yeah.
Following the rules and all that. And I ordered Cheetos and dog food online, and just look at this thing. I thought it was like a normal bag of dog food. It's like this bag of dog food is bigger than him.
That's gonna last your tiny little dog at least a year. You're gonna have to get it. Like, you would have to pay for extra space on a plane if you took that with you.
Yeah, I don't know. So Amazon purchases.
If you guys are just jumping on the live stream, I've got my friend Katie Toupin here. She is a musician, hopefully going to be getting back to touring before too long. Do you have, and you've got very, very nice musical equipment. Is there any sort of industry grumbling or anything? Like, I know you have dates that you've rescheduled. Is there anything there's a music festival here in September, and they haven't booked everyone yet, but they've definitely been like, okay, it's still going on. What are your dates looking like in the fall right now?
Well, that's what everybody's doing. Everybody's saying, we're going to pretend like this is happening. And that's how we're looking at the August, September, October dates that I have. However, and they might happen because, they're smaller club shows. This could be like a capacity thing, which I'm hoping for, But I heard a rumor yesterday that big companies like Live Nation and stuff aren't committing to anything until fall of next year, which is terrifying. Cheeto agrees.
Cheeto's upset. Till fall of next year is what there's.
That's what I heard. I mean, that's a rumor, and who knows? But that's something that I heard, and I was like, well, I need to get new dreams.
We're going to be hosting live podcasts. Katie Toupin live here on. We're like, holy cow!
And starting a podcast with you or something.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's what happens in the apocalypse. St. Louis becomes the Mecca. That's what happens in the reorganization of society. People get it and they come here. That's super scary. Have you?
I got some more Amazon purchases.
Oh, let's do this. Let's do some unboxing.
Look at this.
To
Look at
your
this.
mom.
Oh, let's check it out. It's exciting. Can you
What's
give
it? What's it like having Katie home, having her order everything?
She has her own checking account.
Did you know your daughter did Letterman twice?
What'd you say?
I said, do you know your daughter did Letterman twice?
I did. Hold on.
What?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
She was there.
Fair.
Okay, I like that. I like the fact that that mom gets to go on I guess milestone moments like that. Katie,
It's hard for me to get her to come to anything anymore because I've sort of checked them all off. So
isn't that true? Isn't that what happens at every level? Like if you're a good high school athlete, your parents are like, okay, we've done all this stuff. I'm sure it happens with college and pros. That has to be a strange thing, having some cool achievements in your 20s, because at the end of the day, like your family has seen so much. It's got to be tough.
yes to that. Ooh, what's that? Those are yours. Those are her purchases.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm proud of her as well.
Yeah. Are any of them for me?
No.
I guess they're not for me.
Strangest.
I'm the only late night Amazon buyer in this house.
We have 3 pair. Why did
She bought 3 pair of scissors.
They have sent me the wrong thing, clearly.
Strangest thing that's made it to the house during all this is it the keyboard?
No, the keyboard's totally functional. Like I would record with this thing. Like this is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I can write songs on it. I'm like super stoked. This is a wonderful writer.
Our producer Matt, can you check this off? I don't know if I trust Katie on this one.
I'll co-sign on that. It's a Casio. It's got to be good.
Okay.
I bought a trampoline. I bought a mini trampoline, and I think that's the purchase that I also bought lip plumper.
Katie.
It hasn't arrived yet.
Okay. Well, let me know when it does. We'll do another podcast. So you cut your hair. I remember you making a big deal out of cutting your hair. Are you closer to cutting your hair, like doing the apocalypse haircut at all?
No. My hair is growing back out. What about you?
I'm thinking about it. We're reaching some weird times over here. I think again, Charity could do it. I might just I sit there and I stare at my clippers in the morning, and I'm just like, I could just clean this up just a little bit, because on the sides it gets all whatever, and I've got this little mullet coming in, and it's trouble.
I mean, it's like kind of Euro and cool.
Right? Well, you're a hip musician, so I guess you would know. You're bragging about the Casio. Do you want to play? Is it a new song, or do you have a song you want to play?
Let's see. I didn't mean to dog on St. Louis. I actually really like St. Louis, and I like playing in St. Louis. I haven't played there. There's a venue called Plush.
Yeah, So some quick St. Louis history. So you remember? So the last time you were here, you played Old Rock House, and it was during the Blues Stanley Cup run. Not good for ticket numbers. So when you came here to our studio, right? The building you came in, the first floor used to be Plush. That's hilarious.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
They had a great green room.
They did, and it didn't last because they spent too much money on the green room.
Oh.
No, there's a theater in that spot now too. But yeah, I saw Minus the Bear and maybe Cursive at Plush. Yeah, great venue.
It's one of those towns that's like close enough to Nashville and close enough to like Chicago that I feel like at some point in history it's going to become sort of some sort of musical mecca.
That's what they're working on. I'm serious. They're in the area we're in. The Kransberg Arts Foundation owns this building that we're in, and they're putting this music festival and whole initiative together to just say, like, here's how we blow things up in a good way. Like it's for sure following a path of like Nashville didn't used to be Nashville, right? That's changed a ton. So I think so. Look at you. You're on top of things.
You guys have that awesome museum that I went to. What was that? What's it with the crazy Ferris wheel and stuff?
City Museum down the street from here.
That's the coolest place.
It is. You'll have to go again.
That was a place for me. I had heard about that for years and finally went last year.
It has to be crazy too. Like for us, it's like, yeah, it's a city museum. No, if you haven't been there, that's absurd. Just the concrete structures and adult-sized tunnels to go in. It's wild.
It's bizarre. I mean, you could get lost in there. Yeah, it was super cool. I spent a few hours there, and I
Yeah.
don't think I saw it all.
Well, you're gonna have to come back, so we'll make it happen.
Am I playing a song for you? Is that what I'm doing?
Do you feel like it?
In the background. So she's just gonna be. It's okay. You can totally be in the background.
I love it.
Okay, so let me get set up here.
Here.
I wrote a song. I've written one song during this entire quarantine because I've been doing so many live streams and so many things that I just haven't been able to get in the mindset of writing. And I finally wrote a song, and because I'm here, I think I feel like super connected to being a little kid. You
Yeah,
know?
sure.
And how you think when you're a little kid and how you're gonna like conquer the world when you're little, and like anything's possible. And I still feel that way, you know. I still feel that way all the time. But anyways, hold on. I wrote this song.
And I'll tell everybody right now, thanks for tuning in on YouTube. Be sure you subscribe to the Media Outlaws TV YouTube page. We got Katie Toupin, musician, getting ready to play us a song. What's you got the guitar, you got the Casio. How are we doing this?
Oh, I gotta get the right setting here. Hold on.
Brand new song, huh?
It's all right.
Oh, you're good. I'm trying to think too. Matt, producer Matt, sir, do you think the creative people are using this time constructively? Oh, like we'll talk just like the majority. Are creative people using this time constructively, or is this just getting lost in TV and booze?
I think the majority of people are trying to use it to the best of their ability, but I think everyone has a weird time management situation going on right now, just because of like even sleep schedules and stuff are just completely screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the people that can sit down and actually focus and actually run through point A to point B and like can grind it out and then kind of make themselves be creative when they need to be, that kind of is what will make them stand out the most during this time.
Good point. Katie Toupin.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think it's been really difficult because I think working under a deadline is really helpful, actually. And there's no deadline. It's kind of like, this is just how it's going to be now. And you're like, no rush, you know?
Yeah, we're stuck until a group of protesters opens up the state back up, right?
Exactly. And so I finally have decided, okay, well, you got to be disciplined about it and get it done. But so I wrote one, and here we go. We'll see how it goes. Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Is this fine? Sorry. Silent night and twinkle, twinkle, these were love songs to my simple little heart, little heart, little heart, little heart. When I grow up, I wanna be an astronaut. I'm gonna grow up, I'm gonna be an astronaut. Wanna fly to space, save the human race, and do it all with a smile plastered on my face with this little heart, 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 little heart. I went marching up a mountain all alone, but then I found this little heart, little heart, little heart, little heart. When I grow up, I wanna be an astronaut. and do it all with a smile. Blast it on my face with this little heart, 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 little heart.
Brought to you by Casio. That was great.
First, you know.
Are you going to take that to Nashville and record it like now? Like
I think so.
you should. That's a great tune.
Thank
Look
you.
at you in your Letterman dress. It's all working out.
There we go. This is the big debut for
This-
astronaut.
I like the song name and everything, so that'll be fun to hear that whenever it all pans out and it hits #1, and you can say it started here.
How it normally goes.
Yeah, I think that's how most creative endeavors go. Katie, you have been doing like 50 million live streams when you don't have me on your Instagrams, us going live on Instagram, which is a huge hit as well. You've been making masks for healthcare workers. Just wanted to shout that out. I love my mask that got sent here. I'm not an important person, but somehow I tricked you into getting one. So I appreciate that. You've been making masks and you've been doing stream shows. You have streams tonight. Where can people check those out?
I do. So yeah, I'll go back to the masks part. So I'll just reiterate what I'm doing with the masks. I am donating masks to facilities and people who are essential workers, frontline workers that are in need, which are lots and lots of nursing home facilities. They don't have the proper gear. So we're getting hit up all the time and we have more work than we know what to do with. But if you are an essential worker, you can DM me and I will, as quickly as possible, get you a mask. You can also get a mask if you are one of my patrons at over $50. I'll send you a mask as a gift. The live stream tonight, I have a live stream here in 20 minutes that's just for my Patreon members. It's for patrons, and you can get access to my Patreon account, which is Patreon/Katie Toupin. And then tomorrow, I've been doing a weekly live stream on Sundays at 8 o'clock Eastern time, and I'll have 2 guests on, and we'll do like song swaps. And I'm really excited about my live stream tomorrow because I have Scout Willis and I have Lucas Nelson, which is like, awesome.
That's a big deal.
They're big people.
They just along with you, 3 stars, making it happen.
Yeah.
Thank you for the song. Thank you for the mask. And I did have what was it? It was either from our podcast or from us goofing around on Instagram. A nurse in Arizona literally did say like, "Oh my gosh, I saw this thing. That's so cool. She's making them." And then she just sent me a message yesterday. It said, "Hey, your friend Katie sent those masks." So those are paying off. So wonderful work by you and your cousin and your mother on getting all that stuff done. So
yeah,
keep it up. Yeah, we'll kick ass tonight with the streams. I'm sure people will get more of us here in the future, working on some crazy ideas. I am curious too, if you make it to the grocery store again, do you think you'll find love?
Okay, so you were talking about this the last time we were on, that people were giving you the eyes with the mask, right?
I don't know necessarily. I think it's just in the air. I don't know how many people are giving this.
You are not wrong. It's real. I went to the grocery store yesterday. And I even came home and told my mom about it. It was insane. Like, I mean, everyone is just giving you the eyes, like left and right. And it's intense. And I think that the grocery store is in on it too, because I was in the produce section. This guy was walking by me, gave me the eyes, and then over the intercom starts playing Lady in Red. It was like, and everything was in slow motion too. It was like, and it's me and this guy. I don't know where he went, but
well,
yeah, it's real.
I hope next time that there's a connection. This has happened to happen. And listen, I'm not a hater.
Let's misconnections. Maybe he's on there.
That could be something. Lexington Misconnections. It's just a bunch of horse enthusiasts and you. I'm curious too, since we're on the topic, and I'm not a hater. You know what? If you meet somebody and you chat somebody up in a grocery store, that's fine. But the thirstiness the unskilled conversation is what bothers me as somebody who would, I wouldn't hesitate to talk to somebody at a grocery store, but have you had an awkward grocery store encounter? Like you're, like you've just worked out, you're in the middle of buying like trash bags and somebody comes and hollers. Have you had that happen?
Wait, since the quarantine or like ever?
Let's just talk worst grocery store hitting, yeah, hitting on streets.
You clearly have a worse grocery store.
No, I mean, there's weird stuff that happens, but I've watched it happen, and it's like a train wreck, just like slowly happening. I'm like, don't hit on this, don't hit on that girl. She's gonna be weirded. She's weirded out. She's weirded out.
My mom, however, this is total. You have a weird one? Let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it, Mom.
Let's hear Mom's weird grocery store story.
Well, I guess it was like a couple of weeks ago when we were like not really understanding like exactly what we were supposed to be doing. And I was in the ice cream aisle and these girls were walking by, and I'm not real clear if they were with each other or not, but this one girl was so like a drama queen, and she was like, I just don't know how close to get to people. Some people just get so upset. And I'm like, oh, out, chick. It's like, okay, we're only in the ice cream aisle right now. Okay?
She was like straight up having a panic attack.
I mean, she was like having, like, I don't know if she was talking to herself or she was talking to the people 12 feet in front of her or she's trying to talk to them. I'm not really for sure who she was talking to.
She wasn't having it.
It was very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of that. I do feel it though. Like when I'm in the grocery, I don't know how. Like I don't want people to be close to me, and people walk by like super, like they don't care, and I don't know. And
I think I think it's something too because you're tall, Katie. I'm like I'm not a small person at all. I think like I'm like if I'm giving you room and I'm 6'3", whatever I am, like you got to get little people. You got to back up too. I don't need to breathe your air. Like this is a problem. I agree. I think this is it. And you know what? I think it's an assault on tall people is what the problem is.
Yeah, it is. It is. It totally is. And then there's another like epidemic we kind of see happening around Lexington is that people don't know how to wear their masks. You know, they're wearing them below their nose.
Hang on, I'm going to get my mask and I'm going to show people real quick before we sign off.
Okay. I should play some interlude music. Hold on. What do I got here? Come on, Casio. Don't.
All right. See, we got it.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
I actually really, really like that.
What was that?
That funky beat that she threw in there.
Yeah, well, that's just comes standard.
There it is. People, wear your masks, and if you're healthcare, make sure you hit up Katie because they're helping people out too. So Katie, again, at Katie Toupin on all the social platforms. She's streaming all the time. She's got the Patreon. You can get these masks if you're a $50 member.
They have a nose piece in them. Look at that. Well,
They
like
do.
you put it on upside down when you first got it, but you since have figured out that there's a nose piece in the top that keeps the air from going up into your eyes, which is a big deal.
It's kind of a problem. Okay. Katie, say hey to your cousin and your mother for me. Thank you for hanging out today. Tell Lisa to feel better. Let's hang out again soon. Appreciate it. Good luck tonight.
Bye. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. See you, Katie. Guys, thanks for tuning in to We Are Live. Be sure to support all the great sponsors and support Katie Toupin. Follow her Instagram and sign up for her Patreon. Thanks, everybody.
We are live.